First of all, I want to say thank you to McQuaid for this great honor. I'm deeply humbled to receive this award. In fact, I have to admit I was shocked, stunned, and amazed when I got the call from Sean Mullen in June telling me I was going to get this award. I thought it was Bob Barbado or one of my other classmates calling and pulling a joke on me. But I do want to express my deep appreciation to McQuaid, the Jesuits, and the lay teachers who guided my own development during 4 formative years here. I want to call out my top 10 list of teachers following on what we just heard. My top 10 start with Mr. Robert Dunn, Mr. Frank Nose, Mr. Robert J. Bradley, Mr. Arthur Inguagiato, Reverend Mr. Leonard Riforgiato, Reverend Mr. Thomas Ritz, Reverend Mr. Vincent Coppola, Reverend Mr. Joseph F. O'Rourke, Reverend Leon J. Hogenkamp, and of course the indomitable, unforgettable Bill O'Malley, Father Bill O'Malley. All of these men and many others played a significant role in encouraging me to be inquisitive, to think about a world beyond Rochester, New York, to think about what can I do to make the world a better place to live in, and then to have the patience, the perseverance, and the passion to go out and do that. My dream is to see a world in which no one goes to bed hungry at night, no one is afraid to walk in their community, that people have enough food to eat, that they can lift themselves up out of poverty. But many people, my own family included, they're going to learn something here tonight, wonder why Africa? How was it that you got involved in Africa? Well, growing up as the eldest of 9 children, I was always helping my dad around the house and in the yard do things. And I thought he was the smartest guy in the world. And every time he'd do something, I'd say, Dad, where did you learn how to do that? Africa, Tom. This is an old African trick. I learned this in Africa. And of course, years later, I found out he'd never been to Africa. My dad, the bullshitter, you know. But of course, what did that do to a young, impressionable adolescent? It created a curiosity. I thought, what is Africa really like? So I went on and finished my education, and as you heard from my colleagues and friends up there, I've spent more than 30 years working with poor male and female farmers, mostly in Africa, teaching them how to grow more food so that they'll have more food to sell, so they can earn more money and have a better living standard for their families. I've been passionate about helping these farmers, and I've done that by trying to teach them how to farm in an environmentally sustainable manner using modern technology and modern science. I want to tell you a little story about Mary Bahati, who's a widowed Kenyan mother with 5 children who I met in Kenya in 2010. And I was setting up an answer plot, one of the signs you saw up there, to show farmers how to farm in a more efficient, more effective manner. And Mary was there. And she spoke some English, and we came up and talked, and between my Swahili and her English, we could communicate. And I said, are you willing to come here and learn from us and learn how to farm? And she said, absolutely. I want to send my children to school. I said, how many of your children go to school? She said, well, I have 5, but I can't afford to send any of them. So Mary came and she worked with us, and she learned from us, and she applied what we taught her. And at the end of the year, instead of getting 1 ton of maize or corn from her 1-acre farm, she got 3. She was able to keep that 1 ton of maize for her family to feed them throughout the year, and she sold the other 2. With the money she got, she bought a dairy cow. Then with the dairy cow, now she can give milk to her children every morning and sell the afternoon milk to the dairy cooperative and start earning more money. I worked with Mary for 7 years in Kenya. Today she owns 7 dairy cows. She's still growing corn and selling milk to her cooperative, but all 5 of her children are in school. I've worked in about 20 countries all over Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia. Bob and I were talking about Ethiopia tonight. Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Ghana, Mali. All of these people want the same thing that everybody in this room wants. They want to see a better life for their children. They want to see their families get good medical care, good dental care. They want a safe, secure home and a socially stable environment with economic opportunities for their children. I love my work. And I'm really fortunate to have worked with people like Mary Bahati, who've learned how to grow more food, and now, through taking some risks, she's able to provide for her family. But I'm not done yet. When I started my career more than 30 years ago, 1 billion people on the planet went to bed hungry or malnourished every night. 1 billion people. Men, women, children, infants, babies. In the last 30 years, that number's come down. There's 750 million people that still go to bed hungry or malnourished every night. So there's still too many people, and there's still a lot of work to do. The good news is, though, we are making progress, working with host country governments, the private sector, international non-governmental organizations, including the Catholic Relief Services. I'm optimistic that we'll continue to make progress as we harness the power of science to increase agricultural productivity without destroying our natural resource base. Most of all, I want to thank everybody in this room, because you're all a part of it. Your support for the United States Foreign Aid Program, which constitutes less than 1% of the total U.S. federal budget, has enabled me to have this fantastic career for the last 32, 33 years, and to work with people like Mary Bahati and hundreds of other people like her. It has been a real pleasure to work with them. And I want to thank you all for your attention tonight, and I would like to close by invoking one of my idols when I was here at McQuaid, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, who wrote, "There are those who look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not." Thank you very much.